Hello everyone, welcome to WebDev Warrior. In this video, we are going to build this beautiful burger selling website landing page using the latest version of Next.js, which is Next.js 14. And we are going to use Tailwind CSS. Also, we are going to use the TypeScript. So let me show you the full demo of this landing page. So first, we have this logo, and then we have some nav links. And then we have two buttons, one for order now and one for the card. So if I hover, they have some hover effect. Then we have this beautiful sliding hero section. As you can see, it has some auto sliding feature. Also, you can control the sliding, use these dots here. So this is our hero section. It has some image, some text and a button. Then we have this feature section. You can see the smooth scrolling effect for this card. It has also some hover effect. Then we have this popular burger section where we have a slider where you can slide left and you can slide right. They have some details here. So the burger name, the rating quantity, the price. And here we have a add to cart button. So you can see this component looks pretty good. After this section, we have this rider section. As you can see, the scroll animation here. Here we have this beautiful image. Then we have some text and some feature. Then we have export section. You can see the scroll animation happening here also. So we have three card here for the export. Then we have this beautiful reservation section. Here we have some text, and then in the right side we have a reservation form. Here you can select the number of people. You can add more people option here. Then you can add date here using the date picker. And finally you can add a time here also. So then you can click on the book now. So this is our reservation form. Then we have a newsletter section with some beautiful design, some input, text input and a subscribe button. And finally we have the footer. You can see the footer also looks very good. We have some footer links with hover effect. And this landing page is fully responsive. Let me show you the responsiveness of this website. So here you can see the nav bar is responsive, and here we have the hamburger menu. If I click, you can see a very beautiful nav bar will open. So let me show you again. If I click, first the overlay comes and then the links come. So if I cross, it will close, and you can see a very nice sliding animation here. So this is very premium nav bar, and you can see the hover effect here. So this is our responsive nav. And then we have this slider hero section which fit perfectly. And then we have this feature section with hover effect. And then you can see the slider is perfectly responsive. And then this rider section also fit perfectly. Then we have our export section and the reservation section, then the newsletter section, and finally the footer. You can see everything is perfectly responsive in mobile. So if I show you other devices, see here you can see everything fit perfectly for every screen devices. So this is our project today. I'm going to show you how to structure your project, how to structure file and how to deploy this project in Versa. I'm going to explain every step to you. How to build reusable component, how to make it responsive, and how to add scroll animation here. The starter file of this project are given in the description. And if you have any question related to this project, you can ask me in the comment section and I will try my best to give you the exact solution. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe our channel for more web development content. So now let's start our project. First, we are going to set up our project. So I'm going to create a new folder here. I'm going to name it Burger Landing. And then I'm going to open this folder with Visual Studio Code. And in Visual Studio Code, I'm going to open a new terminal. So I'm going to click here, terminal and new terminal. Then I'm going to search for Next.js. And then I'm going to the installation page. Here I'm going to copy this npm script and I'm going to paste it here. One thing, you have to add a dot slash, and this dot slash means we are going to install all the packages in this folder. Then I'm going to press enter. Now it will take some time. And would you like to use TypeScript? Yes, we are going to use TypeScript. We are going to use ESLint. We are going to use Tailwind CSS. We do not need the source directory. And yes, we are going to use app router. And we do not customize our default import alias. And I'm going to enter. Now it will install all the dependency that we need for this project. So let's wait some time to complete the installation. Now the installation is complete. Let's walk through all the files that are generated. So first we have tsconfig.json. We do not need to do anything here. We have tailwind config.ts, and here we do not need any background, so I'm going to remove it. Then our main folder is this app folder. So here we have a page directory, which is the main page of our website. So if you search for localhost 3000, then this page will appear. So I'm going to remove all the content and I'm going to use a shortcut RAFCE to generate a component boilerplate. And I'm going to name it homepage. So if you wonder how to use the shortcut, then I'm going to show you the process. For this, you have to install a extension. So the extension is called ES7 React Redux React Native Snippets. If you install this, you can use the shortcut. So this is our home page, our main page, and this is the global CSS. So here we do not need this extra styling, and this is the layout page. This is, for example, if you add a navbar here and then a footer here, then this nav and footer will apply to all of the pages. So that means this is our main layout, or you can say this is the wrapper layout for our project, overall project. So we are going to work on this file later. So first I'm going to now run our project using npm rundev. And here I'm going to give some tailwind classes so we can see if the tailwind is working or not. So I'm going to make the text 9xl, and then I'm going to give a color of text rate 900, and in the browser I'm going to open the localhost 3000. So let's see if our Tailwind CSS is working properly. So this is the home page, and you can see the text is large and the color is red. That means our Tailwind CSS is working properly. So then we need some images for our project. So in the public folder, I'm going to create another folder called images. And I'm going to copy some images. So you can have the images in the starter file, and the starter file is in the description where the image is added. So I'm just copying the images here, and you can see these are the images we are going to use. So next we are going to configure the font. So for this project we are going to use a Google font. But the good thing is in Next.js 14 we have the Google font already integrated here. So we can use all the fonts that Google fonts have without any other configuration. So here we are going to import Barlow condensed. So we are going to use this font for this project. So then in this constant we are going to change the name. So here I'm going to change it to Barlow condensed, and I'm going to remove this, and here we're going to use Barlow condensed, and we need to give some property here. The first one is the font weight. So I'm going to use the font weight of 300, then 400, then 500, 600, then 700, and finally 800. And we have to pass another parameter which is subsets, and here we are going to pass Latin. So now we are going to use this constant for our font. So I'm going to copy this, and here instead of the enter we are going to use our newly created constant. So our font is now applied to the project. So you can see the font changes, and now it's our custom font that we are using from Google Fonts. Next we are going to use icons in our project. For the icons we are going to use the React icons library. So if I search for React icons, then go to this GitHub pages. So you can see there are a lot of icons to use. If you need any icon, you have to just search here. So if I search for magnifying glass, so you can see it's here. So I'm going to the GitHub page. So here the npm pages for the React icon. So then I'm going to install this package. So I'm going to split the terminal and here paste the npm script. So now it's going to install the React icons in our project. And here in the app folder, I'm going to create another folder for our components. In the component folders, we have a home component. So this is the main component where we are going to add all our home page related component, and finally we are going to add this home component in our page, home page component, which is the main page. So here I'm going to use our shortcut, and then I'm going to add this home component in our pages. main home pages. So here I add the home component in our home page, and we are going to add all the home page related component here, like the hero section, the feature section, and all the slider section here. So this is our main home component. So let's check the browser. So this is our home, and then one thing, you can customize your metadata. So here you can see the metadata section where the title is create next. Let me change here. So we're going to use burger, a healthy food. And for the description, this description is helpful for the SEO purpose. So you can add your custom description here. If I save and go to the browser, you can see here the title change. It's a burger, a healthy food. So our overall setup is ready. Now we are going to build our navbar. So for this, I'm going to create a folder in our components folder, and I'm going to name it navigation. In navigation folder, we have three components. One is nav.tsx, which is our desktop size navbar. Then we have mobile nav, which is for the mobile phone navigation bar. And then we have a responsive nav. And in the responsive nav, we are going to add our two navs, mobile navs and the navs. And we are going to add the functionality of the navbar here. So first, I'm going to create the component using the shortcut. And in responsive nav, we are going to add our both nav and mobile nav. So nav and then mobile nav. And finally, we are going to add this responsive nav in our layout folder. So here in our layout, we are going to add our responsive nav. Now if I check, so you can see we have the nav, mobile nav, and then the home component. So our nav is added to our page. So now let's start building the navbar. So let me show you the deployed navbar. So this is the deployed version. So this is the navbar. Here you can see we have a logo, then some nav links, and finally two buttons. So here we are going to use the flex box, and we are going to use the justify between. So let's start building this. So first div have a class name of height 12vh, and then the background will be white, and one thing, we are going to add a background for our overall page. So I'm going to remove this, we do not need this, and here we are going to add a background which is hash f4 f1 en. So this is our background for the overall page. Now let's go to the nav section. So here we have background, then we have another div. This is the overall navbar link. Here we are going to use class name. In the smaller device, the width will be 90%, and device less than smaller. If I hover, you can see smaller means 640 pixel. So less than this pixel, we have a width of 95%. 5%. Then the MX will be auto, and we're going to use flex, and height will be 100% of the parents, which is 12v8, and we're going to use item center and justify between. Then we have another nav which is for the logo div. So here I'm going to add div, and this div has a class name of flex item center and SpaceX of 2. And in this div we're going to use two items. One is this burger icon and the other is this name. So here I'm going to use fn burger. So this is importing from the React icons, the library we are installed. So here the f burger, you can search this icon in the React icons library, and this icon have a class name of width 1.2 RAM, height 1.2 RAM, and smaller device width will be 1.4 RAM and height will be 1.4 RAM, and the text color will be orange 500. Let's check. So these are icon. Then we have the text. So each one is burger bite. This text have a class name of text 20 pixel. In smaller and large devices, the text will be 30 pixel. Font will be semi-bold. That's it. Let's save it. So this is our logo. Then after this div, we have the nav links div. Nav links. So here we can remove this div. So this logo, and then we have nav links. So here we are going to use a UL, and this UL, inside this UL we have a li, and inside this li we have link component from next link. So we are going to import link from next link. The first link will be home, and here we have to give a href. So href will be just slash. So this UL has a class name of hidden. That means in the smaller device it is hidden, and in large devices it's going to be flex, and the items will be center, and SpaceX will be 10. Means the li will have a space between them. Then the li have a class name of text 20 pixel font medium, and then we have in hover text red 600. So let's check. So these are first link. Then we have more links. So we have 4 more. So I am going to copy this and paste it 4 times. And for the second one, it is shop, then menu, block, and finally contact. So this is our nav link. For now, I am going to comment out the mobile nav. So for this, I am going to the responsive nav and I am going to the comment this out. So this is our nav. Then we have the 2 button. So let's build this. So we complete the nav links. Then we have buttons. So here we have a div of class name flex item center and then prefix 4. Inside this div we have the 2 buttons. We are using flex and space between so that they have some space between them. So then we have the first button, and inside this button we have a span, and inside this span we have a bicycle icon, bicycling, bicycling icon, and it's imported from the React icon. And then we have another span with the text of order now. So for the button we have class name of px6 py2 for the very small devices, and the small devices px will be 8 and py will be 3. Font size will be 14 pixels for smaller devices, means less than smaller devices, and text will be 16 pixels higher than the small device, which is 640 pixels. Then we have a background of PG blue 950, and we are going to use the transitional property, and the duration will be 200, and in hover the background color will be changed to BG red 600, and we are going to make it flex. The items will be center, it has rounded corner, so rounded MD, and space x2 for some spacing between the icon and the text, and finally the text color will be white. Now for the icon we have a class name of width 1.3 rem, height 1.3 rem, and small and larger devices the width will be 1.7 rem and height will be 1.7 rem. And for this text we have class name of font bold. So let's check. So these are button, but the icon is very small. Let's check. So here we have a missing of 1, so 1.7 rem. So now it's look perfect. Then we have this card button. So for the card button, after this button we have another button, and inside this button we have the shopping cart icon. So I'm going to use this buy shopping bag, and then class name, it has the same class name of this icon. So I'm going to copy this and paste it here. And for the button we have class name of in the smaller and large devices the px will be 6, uy will be 3, and smaller devices we have px4, ey2, and in hover we're going to change the background to bg green 700, and again we're going to use the transition all property. Duration will be 200, and initially the background will be bg orange 600, will be flex right and center, rounded MD. No, we do not need rounded MD, and text will be white. So let's see. So these are card button. So this is complete now. If I check, you can see everything looks good. Now we have a hamburger menu here. So we are going to another icon which is high bar 3 bottom right. So we are going to use this icon here. We are going to give some class name here. So the class name is in the large will be hidden. In the large screen the hamburger menu will be hidden, and it has a width of 2 rem, then the height will be 2 rem, and the text color will be black. So let's check this. So initially it's hidden, but when we hit the large screen the hamburger menu shows up. So you can see this is perfectly fit in the screen size. So this is our nav. Now we are going to build the mobile nav bar. So let's go to the mobile nav section, and first uncomment this component here, And in mobile nav, for the first div, we have a class name of, we're going to use fixed here, then right will be 0. We're going to use the transition all, duration 500, left 0, top 0, and bottom 0. We have height of 100 VH and background color of hash E0, and we have the Z index of 1002. So this is the background, this is mobile. Inside this div we have a cross icon to close the navbar. So we are going to use a icon here. So I am cross. This icon is coming from the hue icon, and this icon have a class name of absolute top to rem with right to rem, width will be to rem, height will be to rem, text color will be white. So this is the icon. By clicking this, we are going to close our navbar. So then we have another div, and this is for the nav links. So this div has a class name of bg emerald 700, then the transition all, duration 500. We'll use a delay here of 200 millisecond, and flex will be in column direction. Items will be center, justify center, width will be 70%, and height will be 100%. So here we are going to place our nav links. So inside this div, so this is the nav div, and here will be nav links. So I am going to copy the nav links part from here. So copy this and then paste it here, and don't forget to import the link from next link, and we're going to change some of the style here. So here we are going to remove all of this and use this space y. So now we are going to spacing them in the y direction. So space y 10, and the text will be, I'm going to select all of this and I'm going to change it to 35 pixel. and I'm also going to select all of this. So in the hover, the text color will be yellow 400 and default text will be white. So this is our nav links. Now we have to implement the functionality for opening and closing the nav. So for this we are going to use the responsive nav component. So one thing is, in Next.js 14 all the components are server component. So if I console log here server, you can see the console log is in the terminal. If I open the browser console, you see nothing. So that means all the component in Next.js 14 is server component. The one thing that you need to keep in mind that in server component you cannot use the use state or use effect hooks or any kind of hooks. The hooks are for the client component. So if I use div const show nav and then set show nav is equal to use state, and then for initial value it will be false. If I save here, you can see there is an error. So if I refresh, you can see it say you are importing a component that needs use state. It only works in a client component. So that means we cannot use the use state in the server component. Now we have to convert this component into client component. To convert this, we just need to use this in top of the file, which is use client. Now it is converted into client component. So now if I refresh, you can see the error is gone. And also if I console log something like console log client, you can see now no console log in the terminal. But if I check the browser console, you can see the client is log here. So that means our component is now a client component. So next we are going to use two functions, one for opening the nav and one for closing the nav. So const open nav handler and set show nav to true, and another is close nav handler. In this one will make the set show nav to false. And now we have to pass some props in our navbar and mobile navbar. So for the nav component, we are going to pass the open nav and pass the open nav handler function. Open nav handler. And in the mobile nav, we are going to pass the show nav. And then we are going to pass the close nav function. Close nav is equal to close nav handler. Now it's give us some warning, which is we do not have the type in our component. So we have to define proper types for these props using the TypeScript properties. So first in the nav section, we have to define the types for the props that are coming from the responsive nav. So in the nav, we are passing only one props, which is open nav, and it is a function which return nothing. So here I'm going to use a TypeScript feature, which is interface, to define ties, and we're going to name it props. You can name it anything you want. So in the props, we are receiving a open nav props, and it is a function which return void. Now I'm going to pass this props type in our component. So props, and now I'm going to import the open nav function, and when we click the hamburger menu, we're going to open the navbar. So on click open nav, and now for the mobile nav, we are receiving two props. One is show nav props and one is close nav. And show nav props is a type of boolean which is true or false, and close nav is a function and which returns void. So now we are going to specify this type. So in mobile nav, I'm going to use the interface again, props, and this time we have show nav, which is boolean type, and then close nav, which is a function that returns void. We're going to pass this in our component, and we are going to import the close nav and show nav. So in the cross icon, we are going to add the close nav. So on click, we are going to close the nav. Now based on the show nav property, we are going to show our mobile nav and height. For this, we are going to create a variable. So const nav style, and here if the show nav is true, then we are going to use translate x0. That means we are going to show the navbar. Otherwise, we are going to use the translate x minus 100%. That will hide the navbar from the screen. So then we are going to use this nav style here. So to use the dynamic property, we are going to use the curly braces and the template literal here. So we're going to remove the backdates here, and here we are going to use the nav style. And for this, we are going to also use the nav style. So curly braces, template literal, and here I'm going to insert the nav style. So nav style. Here we are using a delay. That means first we are going to slide the overlay, and then the main nav links will appear. So let me show you. So if I click here, you can see the overlay first sliding, then the nav link slide. If I click here, it closes. So it's open and closes. And in bigger screen devices, the hamburger menu is hidden. So this is a responsive navbar. You can see the hover is also working. So everything looks perfect. So our navbar is complete. Next, we are going to build the hero section. So this is our beautiful hero section. This is a sliding hero section. So here you can see dot. Then clicking this dot, we can slide left and right. So this slide is also have auto sliding feature. So there we have some image, some text, and then you can see there we have some shape here. So we are going to create this shape using clip path properties. So now let's jump into our VS Code and start building the hero section. So for this, in the component folder, I'm going to create another folder called hero. And inside this hero folder, I'm going to create a hero.tsx. And I'm going to use the shortcut to create our component boilerplate. And then I'm going to add this hero in our home component. So here, I'm going to add our hero section. So this is our hero section. Now for the sliding, we are going to use a npm package, which is React Multi Carousel. So let me search the npm package, which is React Multi Carousel. So this is the npm pages for React Multi Carousel. I'm going to open the GitHub page. And then here you can read all about these packages, how to configure this, and what are the different parameters and how to change this value of this parameter. So I'm not going through all of this. So here you can see a demo. Now I'm going to install the package using the npm script. So I'm going to paste it here and run it. So we have to import this carousel and styling for our slider. So I'm going to import this. Then we have to add a responsive variable. So this is the responsive variable. I'm going to copy this and then I'm going to paste it here. So we are going to change some parameters here. So in the desktop breakpoint, the max will be 3000 pixel and the minimum we are going to give it a, we do not need to change anything here. So we have to change this item. So we are going to have only one items and slides to slide will be one. For this also one and slides to slide one. Then this is one. So this is our responsive variable. Then here we are going to use our carousel component. So the carousel component have some parameter here. So first is additional transform will be 0, arrows will be true, no arrows will be false. We are not going to use arrow, but if you want you can make this true to have some arrow control sliding. Then we are going to autoplay this. So autoplay will be true. Then autoplay speed will be 4000 millisecond, means 4 seconds. Then the center mode will be false. Then we are going to make this infinity, and the responsive variable we are going to pass our responsive variable here. Item class will be item. You can change the styling for the item here. And finally show dots, we are going to show the dots. So this will be true. So this is our carousel, and to use this carousel we need to make this component a line component. So that's why we're going to use the use client here to convert this server component into a client component. So now inside this carousel we have a div with class name of width 100%, height will be 88 vh, it will be flex, items will be center, justify will be center, flex will be call, pg will be blue 950, and in MD, that means in medium and larger screen devices we are going to use a custom CSS style which is clipper. I'm going to name this clipper. You can name this anything you want. So this is our first hero section. So first hero slide, and then inside this div we have an image. Now for the clipper, let me show you. So now this is our background. So here you can see there is a shape here, some cool looking shape. So now we are going to build this using clipper. So I'm going to search for clip path generator. So let me find the website. So this is the website where you can generate clip path. So here I am going to use a hexagon, and we're going to make a shape something like this. So this is the shape. Now we just need to copy this. So I'm going to copy this, and in the code you can see we have a custom class which is clip path. So I'm going to the global CSS, and here dot clip path, and I'm going to paste this, and I'm going to save this. So the clip path is not applied. Let me see why the clip path is not applied. If I remove this, let's see. Now it's working. So the shape is not perfect. So here we have to make this. And I'm going to copy this and paste in our clip path variable. Save. So now it's look good. But what do we want? We want to show it in the screen medium or higher devices. So if I do this, So for now I'm going to remove this, and this is our clip path. Let's build the remaining part and then we are going to fix this. So inside this div we have images, so I'm going to import the images that we need. So first image is burger 1, burger image 1, and we are going to import this from slash public slash images slash v1.png, and for the second image it's 2, and here we have 2. So inside this div we have another div, and here we have an image. So we are going to import the image from next image, and the source will be burger image 1, and the alt will be burger. If I save this, so this is our image, and in the div we're going to use the class name of with 80% grid equals 1 in smaller devices, and in medium the grid equals will be 2. Justify center, items will be center, gap will be 2 rem, and margin will be auto. So this is the image. Then we have the div for the text description. So then we have a div, so give it a comment, so image, and then we have the information. So inside this div we have a h1. In h1 we have fast food burger. This h1 have a class name of text 40 pixel, font semi bold, text yellow 400. Then we have no, we do not need anything, that's it. So this is the fast food burger. Then after the h1 we have another h1. Here we're going to use best, then a beer track for line break, and then burgers. So the h1 we have a class name of text 90 pixel, leading will be 5 rem, uppercase, text color will be white, font will be bold. That's it. Let's check. So these are text based burgers. After this h1 we have a p tag. Here we're going to use another extension which is lorem ipsum generator for generating random text. So we are going to use 25. So let me show you the extension. So this is the extension to generate random text. So this p tag have a class name of margin top 1 rem, text color will be white, text opacity be 70, and font size will be 18 pixel. So these are text. Last thing, we have a button, a order now button. So for this I am going to copy this button. So this is in the nav section. So this is the button. I'm going to copy this, and after the p1 I'm going to paste it, and here I'm going to use Ctrl and space to show the suggestion, and then click this, and this will import the icon. So this is the icon. So if I save, you can see the button, but we need to adjust some styling. So here the px will be 8, margin top will be 2 rem, py will be 3, so we do not need this. So I'm going to remove this. Text will be 16 pixel, bg will be green 500, in the hover bg will be green 700. So here I am going to remove this part. So width will be 1.7 rem and height will be 1.7 rem. So let's check. So this is our button, order now button, with a hover effect. Next we have the second slide. So this is the first slide nav div. So then we have the second slider. You can use a reusable component for that, but I'm not going to use this. So I am simply going to copy this one and then paste it here, and I'm going to change some content here. So the image will be burger image 2, and here will be here we will be tasty burger, here top burger, and for the button we have bg blue 500, and hover we are going to use the green one, and for this div the background will be bg rate 950. So let's check. So looks good. The to slide. Let me show you the responsiveness. So we have to make this responsive. For this, the image have a class name of hidden in smaller devices, and in medium screen it will become block. So I'm going to copy this class, and for the second slide image I'm going to add this. So now let's check. Now it's fully responsive. The one thing that is, in smaller device we do not need this shaping here. So let me fix this. So here we have click path. So we are going to show this click path in the medium screen devices. So now you can see this is fixed, but also our here I'm going to the global CSS, and that is not working because this is outside of the Tailwind CSS. So we need to add this in our Tailwind component. So for this we are going to use hashtag layer and then components, and inside this component we are going to use this. So if I do this, then I think it will work. Now you can see this is working properly. If I inspect, so in the mobile devices the first one is looking perfect. So we have to add this in our second slide. So here the click path will only apply in the medium and large screen. So if I check, so now you can see in mobile devices the shaping is not working, but in our large devices the shaping is working. So first it is not working because we are not add this clip path class in our Tailwind component. So then when we add this in our layer and our components, then it's working. So our hero section is complete. Now we are going to build the feature section. So this is the feature section with a heading and 3 cards, and every card have a hover effect. Now let's build this section. So for this I'm going to create a folder in our component folder which is feature, and inside these features I'm going to create a file called feature.tsx, and I'm going to create the boilerplate here, and then I'm going to add this in our home component. So here feature, and here in our home component we are going to use a class name of overflow hidden, so that we do not have any scrolling in our website in left or right. So now, so here is the feature. Now we are going to make this component. So for the first div, I have a class name of padding top of 5 rem and padding bottom of 3 rem. So the padding is applied, and inside this div we have our heading. So first we have the heading. For the heading we have an h1, and inside this h1 we have a span. So the h1 here we have burger made with, then we have a break. That means we are going to split the text in a new line, and then love and inside the span we have the care text. And for the heading we are going to use a class name of heading, and I'm going to create this heading class in our global CSS. So inside the global CSS and inside this layer component I'm going to add dot heading, and I'm going to apply the following style. So for this we are going to use text of 30 pixel, and in medium and large screen the text will be 35 pixel. For large screen text will be 45 pixel. Then in the extra large text will be 50 pixel. It will be uppercase text. Font will be bold. Then we have text gray 900 as the color, and in the medium the leading will be 4 rem, and in smaller device the leading will be 3 rem, and the text will be center. So we are creating this variable, this custom class name, so that we can use this for our rest of the section heading. That will reduce a lot of work from us. Then we have, so in the feature section, then after the heading we have our cards section. So cards, and here we have another div with class name of width 90%, and in medium width will be 80%, margin top will be 3 rem, and in medium the margin top will be 5 rem, margin bottom will be 3 rem, and the margin in the x direction will be auto. We are going to use the grid system, and for smaller device the grid calls will be 1, and in medium grid calls will be 2, and in large grid calls will be 3. So we are dividing the section in 3 parts, and we have 3 cards for this 3 part. Then we are going to use a gap of 3 rem. So inside this div now we have the first card. So here we have a div, and inside this div we have another div with class name of padding of 6. P6 means if I hover over you can see it's 1.4 rem. So P6, and in hover we have a BG white, background of white, and it will be rounded LG, transition all, and the duration will be 200. So inside this div we have a image. Let me show you. So the card contains a image, a heading, and a description. So we need to import these three images. So now I'm going to import these three images. So in the top I'm going to import the image one from slash publics slash and its images slash f1 dot jpg, and for the image 2 it's f2, and for image 3 it's f3. So inside this div we have a image, so we are going to use the Next.js image stack, and here the source will be image 1. So image 1, and the alt, we're just going to use the burger, and this image have a class name of rounded 3xl. So let's check. So this is our image. You can see the hover is work properly. So then we have, after the image we have h1, and it's our burger, and this have a class name of margin top 1.5 gram, text center, text will be 24 pixel, text color will be black, and font will be semi-bold. And then we have a p tag. I'm going to use the lorem ipsum generator to generate some random text, and this p tag has a class name of margin top 0.2 gram, text will be black, text opacity will be 60, and the text will be center. So if I save this, so these are first card. We have to build the two more card here. So for this I am just copy this. So this is the first card, then we have second card. So I'm going to copy this and paste it here, and for the image it's image 2, and for the text it's your opinion is important. So this is our second card. So you can see we need one more card. So this is the third card. I'm going to copy this and then paste it here, and it's image 3, and the title will be chicken burgers. So if I check, you can see the three cards is looks perfect, but in the deployed version you can see this component is different. It has some padding, or you can say margin, in the top, so we have to give this the margin or padding. So for the second card, we are going to use a translate y property. So but only in the large screen. So we are going to use translate y of 3 rem. So if I say, so you can see now the layout looks very nice and professional. It gives a professional vibe to this component. So here one more thing, for the title, here we are going to use a class name text rate 600. Now everything looks very nice. Let me show you the responsiveness for this component. So you can see for every screen it adapts perfectly. So if I select iPhone 12, you can see in mobile it looks very nice. So our feature section is complete. Next we are going to build our popular burger section, which contains a slider of product. So this is a slider where you can slide in left and right. So now we are going to build this component. So I'm going to create a folder in our component folder, which is popular burger, and here I'm going to create a file called popular burger.tsx, and I'm going to use the shortcut to create the component boilerplate, and then I'm going to add this in our home component. So popular burger. So this is our popular burger section. So for this slider, we're again use our React multi-carousel. So I'm going to copy this from our hero section. So we need these two imports. So I'm going to copy this and paste it here, and then we need this responsive variable. So I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste it here. So here I'm going to make some changes in our responsive variable. So the first one is, for the desktop the minimum will be this value, and first the items will be 4 and item to slide is 1, and for the next one, for the tablet the max size will be 1324 and the minimum will be 764, and here the items will be 2 and item slides will be 1, and then for mobile the max will be 764 and min will be 0 and items will be 1 and slides to slide will be 1. So this is our responsive variable. So now inside the component, for the first div we have a class name of padding top of 3 rem and padding bottom of 3 rem, and then we have our heading. So here I'm going to use a h1, our popular, and then a span, and then burgers. So for the h1 we are going to use our previously made class, which is heading. and for this span it will have a class name of text rate 600. So let's check. So this is our heading. Then we have our slider. So next, after the h1 we have another div, and this div have a class name of with 80% margin top 4 ram and margin auto. Inside this div we have our carousel, and we are going to configure this additional transform 0 arrows will be true. Here we need arrow to control our slides. Autoplay will be true. Autoplay speed will be 4000 millisecond, means 4 seconds. Center mode will be false. Then infinity, and for the responsive we're going to use a responsive variable. Then the item class, and finally we have show dots. So for this I'm going to make it false. If you want, you can use the dot to control the slide. And as we are using the carousel, we need to make this a client component. So I'm going to use the use client to make this a client component. And inside this carousel we have our burger product component. So here it shows some error. Let's give here a div. So now the error is gone. So we have this card, so we are going to create a separate component for this card only, and then we are going to add all the card in our carousel. So here we will have a burger card component. So I'm going to create it here, burger card tsx. By using reusable component, you can then use this component anywhere in your project. So now I'm going to add this burger card here. We're going to pass some props in our burger card. The first one is the title. So for the first one, it's Beefy Bite. Then we're going to pass images. For first one, it's images/b1.png. Then we're going to pass reviews number. So for this one, we are going to use the 6, and we are going to pass the price. And now we have to receive these props and give these props the proper typing. So I'm going to the burger card section, and here I'm going to use the interface and prop, and we're going to receive title, which is the type string. We're going to receive image of type string. Then we're going to receive the price of type string, and we're going to receive, let me check, reviews. So reviews, which will be type string, and I'm going to pass this props here. So it's reviews. Maybe the spelling mistakes. There will be a E. So now it's not showing us any error. Here I'm going to import the image, the price, the reviews, and the titles. For the first div, we have a class name of background will be white, E6, and rounded LG, and M3. So M3 means margin 0.75 gram. Then inside this div, we have another div with class name of width 200 pixel, next auto, and height will be 200 pixel. And inside this div we have image, so we can comment this as image div. So inside this div we have image, so we are going to use our Next.js image component, and the source will be the props that we are receiving, and for the alt we are going to use the title, and then we are going to use width of 200 pixel and height of 200 pixel, and then we have a class name of width 100%, height 100%, and object will be cover. So let's check. So this is our first image. Then after the image we have h1 of title, class name of margin top 1.3 ram, text 22 pixel, text color will be black, and font will be semi-bold. After the title we have another div with class name of flex, item center, margin top of 0.5 ram, and then spacex 3. And inside this div we have another div with class name of flex, item center, and we do not need any spacex here, and inside this div we have a star icon, so we are going to use fs star, and it has a class name of width 1 ram, height of 1 ram, and text color will be text yellow 600. So I'm going to copy this 4 more time. So let's see. So this is our title and this is the review, and you can see there also have the review count. So after this step we have another div, and here we are going to pass the reviews. It has a class name of text black and opacity 600. So this is our review, so you can see the review count. maybe we're going to increase the opacity a little bit. So opacity 80. Then we have the description and then price and add to cart button. So after this step we have a p tag. Here we are going to use lorem ipsum to generate some random text. In this p tag have a class name of margin top 0.5 rem, text color will be black, text opacity will be 70, and let's check this. So these are description. So after this p tag we have another div with class name of flex, and margin top will be 1.4 rem, items will be center, and justify will be pt. Here we are going to place our price and the add to cart button. So the first we are going to use the h1 tag for the price. So here we are going to use our price from the props, and this h1 have a class name of text 25 pixel, font will be bold, text color will be text red 700, not 700, we're going to use 600. So let's see. So this is our price. Then we have the button. So button, and inside this button we have a shopping icon. So shopping bag. This button have a class name of px4 py2 in hover bg green 700, transition will be all, duration will be 200, initial background color will be bg orange 600, will be flex, item center, rounded md, and spaces will be 2. No, we do not need the spaces here. The text will be white, and the icon will be class name of width 1.3 rem, and height will be 1.3 rem. Now let's check. So this is our one card item, so one box, so we need more here. So in the popular burger section we have to copy this. So I'm going to copy this 8 times. So I'm going to copy this 8 times. I'm going to change only the images, but you can change the title, the reviews, and the price. So b1, b2, b3, b4, b5, b6, b2, b3, b4, b5, 6, b7, b8, another one, for being. So now let's check. So this is our popular burger section with the slider. So you can see it's working properly. So let me show you that this component is perfectly responsive. So I'm going to inspect, and in responsive mode, let me reset this. So you can see in large device there are 4 items, then 2 items, and finally in mobile devices 1 item. So if I select iPhone 12, you can see the component adapt perfectly with the screen size. So our popular burger section is completed. Next, we are going to build the deliver section. So here we have a beautiful image and some text content. We're using grid here and divide this part in two. And one is for the image and another for this text content. So let's start building this section. So for this, I am going to create another folder in our component folder. So I'm going to name this delivery. And inside this folder, I'm going to create a file called delivery.tsx. And I'm going to use the boilerplate to create the component structure, and then I'm going to add this in our home component. So here, delivery. So now let's check. So this is our delivery text. And now for the first div, we are going to give some padding. So padding top will be 8 rem and padding bottom will be 3 rem. Then inside this div, we have another div. This is our main div. So here class name width will be 80%, mx will be auto, and we are going to use the grid and item center. And for a smaller device, we are going to have one column, and when we hit the large screen, we are going to use the grid calls 2, and there will be some gap of 3 rem. So inside this div, first we have the image. So here we have a div, and inside this div we are going to use our Next.js image tag. So now I'm going to import the image. So import delivery image. You can name it anything you want. We are going to import this from our public images, and it is delivery.svg. So here in the source, we are going to pass this delivery image, and for the alt text, let's just use the delivery text. Delivery. Now let's check. So these are beautiful image. Now we are going to build the text section. So first we have a heading, then a small description, and then this 3 list with icons. So after the image we have the text content. So here we have a div, and inside this div we have a h1. So The text will be your. Then we are going to use a span favorite burger on the way. So the h1 have a class name of text 30 pixel, in medium text 40 pixel, in large scale text 50 pixel, and extra large text will be 60 pixel. Font will be bold, and we're going to use leading 3 RAM for small device, and medium and large the leading will be 4 RAM. And for the span we are going to use text red 600. So now let's check. So this is our heading, so we need to make it uppercase, so I'm going to use the uppercase here. So these are heading, then we have a small description. So after the h1 we have a p tag. I'm going to use the lorem system to generate some random text, and here we have a class name of margin top 2 RAM. Text color will be black, font size will be 17 pixel, and text opacity will be 70. So these are description. Then we have the list. So after the p1 we have a div, and the div have a class name of flex item center. In this div we are going to place our icons and our text, and we are going to make this flex, and we are going to separate them from a small distance. So that's why we are going to use space x3, and margin top will be 2 RAM. So inside this div we are going to use a bike icon. You can search this in the React icons library, and this icon have a class name of width 2 RAM, height 2 RAM, and text red 600. And then we have an h1 delivery in 30 minutes. So this h1 have a class name of text 18 pixel, text black, and font medium. So let's check. So these are first list. In the actual we have uppercase, but for now I'm going to leave it as like this. So I'm going to copy this. We need two more. So 1 2. For the second one we're going to use another icon, so which is your fast food, and here the text will be free shipping from 75. And for the third we have BS door open. Here the text will be delivery on your doorstep. Now let's check. So there is the three list. We have to change one thing, and for the second one we do not need empty 2 RAM. We are going to use empty 1 RAM, and for the second one also 1 RAM. Now it's look good. So this is complete. Let me show you the responsiveness. So if I inspect, reset this, so as you can see it's adapting its content perfectly, and in mobile view it's looked perfectly fine. So if I select, you can see it's fit perfectly for every screen devices. So this delivery section is completed. Next we are going to build our export section. So this is our export section. Here we have 3 export card here with name, their professional qualification, and then some description. So let's start building this section. So I'm going to create a folder in our component folder, and I'm going to name it team, and inside this I'm going to create a file, just team.css, and I'm going to use the shortcut to generate the boilerplate. Then I'm going to add this component in our home component. So after the delivery we are going to add our team section. So this is our team. Now we are going to start building this section. So for the first div we have a class name of padding top of 5 RAM, padding bottom of 3 RAM, and inside this div we have a h1, and the text is meet our export, and then we have a span shapes. So here we are going to use our previously created class name, which is heading, and for this we are going to add a text color of red 600. So now if we check, so this is our heading, and after this heading we have another div, and this div has a class name of margin top 5 RAM, width of 80%, margin will be auto, and we are going to use the grid system, and grid equals 1 for small device, medium devices grid goals will be 2, and large grid column will be 3, and we are going to use some gap between the card. So we are going to use gap 3 RAM, and then the item will be center. So inside this we are going to use another reusable component, which is team card. So I'm going to create another component called team card.tsx, and I'm going to use the RAFCE and then add it here. So we do not need to copy same code again and again. That's why we are going to use this reusable component. So I'm going to use team card here. So we have 3 theme card. So I'm going to copy it 2 times. So these are 3 theme card. Now we need to pass some props for our theme card. So for the first one, we're going to pass the image, which is slash images slash t1.jpg, and we're going to pass a name and a position. I'm going to copy this and paste it here. For the second one, we have image 2. For the third one, we have image 3. For the name, I'm just going to change the name. For the second one, the position is executive chef. For the third one, we have head chef. Now we have to define the types of our props, and we have to pass the props type in our theme card. So I'm going to use the interface props, and we are receiving an image of type string, then a name of type string, and a position of type string. Now I'm going to pass the props here in our component. So props, so here we have some spelling mistake. Now it did not show any error. So next we have this theme card section. So inside the first div we have our image. So I'm going to use the Next.js image component for this, and for the source I'm going to pass the props that we are receiving. So here we are going to receive our props image, name, and position. For the source I'm going to pass this image props, and for the alt tag I'm going to pass the name, and then height will be 400 pixel, width will be 400 pixel, and then class name rounded to XL. So we are going to give the image a rounded shape, and then margin will be auto. So let's check. So these are 3 image. Then we have the title, the position, and the description. So after the image we have a h1, and the h1 will contain the name, and the name we are going to receive from our props. And for the h1 we have a class name of text 40 pixel, text gray 800, margin top will be 1.5 rem, then text will be center, font will be bold. So these are title, or you can say the name. Then we have the position. So I am going to use a p tag for the position, and the p tag has a class name of margin top 0.4 rem, margin bottom of 0.4 RAM, px will be 4, py will be 1, bg green 600, text will be white, mx will be auto, width will be fit, and finally the font will be medium. So these are position. Then we have the description. So after the p tag, I'm going to use another p tag, and I'm going to use the lorem ipsum generator to generate some random text. So this p tag has a class name of text center. In the medium screen, the width will be 70%, margin will be auto, text color will be text gray 600, margin top will be 1 RAM. So this is our description style. So these are description here. We can reduce some text from here. So let's check. So these are description. So this component is complete. Let me show you the responsiveness of this component. So you can see now it's showing the 3 card. If I decrease the screen size, you can see it adapting perfectly with the screen size. If we reduce more, you can see now we have 1 card. So if I select individual mobile devices, you can see it's fit perfectly. So our team section is completed. Next, we are going to build the reservation section. You can see here we have some text and some information about the reservation, and in the left hand side we have a reservation form with some input field, one for selecting how many people and one for selecting the date and another for selecting the time, and then a book now button. So now we are going to build this component. So I'm going to create a folder inside the component folder, and I'm going to name it reservation. And inside this reservation we have a component called reservation.tsx. I'm going to use the shortcut to generate the boilerplate, and then I'm going to add this component in our home component. So here we are going to add our reservation component. So this is our reservation text. So the first div have a class name of padding top of 5 RAM, then relative positioning, margin top of 2 RAM, then we have a padding bottom of 5 RAM, margin bottom of 3 RAM, and we are going to use a background image, so bg url, and here we are going to put our image url, so slash images slash bg dash black dot jpg. So let's check. So here you can see our background. So here we also have bg center, then bg cover. So this is our background. Inside this div we have another div. So this div has a class name of absolute. This is for the overlay. So overlay, we're going to use a black overlay in our component. So this is the overlay component. So absolute width will be full, height will be full, background will be hash 0000000 A6, then top 0, left 0, right 0, and bottom will be 0. So here you can see we have a back overlay. After this div we have another div. So this div has a class name of with 80% relative. We are going to use a z index of 20. So after the z index we have mx of auto. We are going to use the grid to divide our section in two parts. So one for this text and one for this reservation form. That's why we are using grid. So now we have grid, then grid calls will be 1, and in large screen grid calls will be 2. Items will be center, node end, it will be center. Then we have a gap of 3 rem. So here we have our text content. Inside this div, then we have our reservation form. So in the text content, inside this div we have a h1. So this h1 has a class name of text 30 pixel. In the medium screen, text will be 40 pixel. Then we have in large screen, text will be 50 pixel. Text color will be white. Font will be bold. And in the small device, leading will be 3 rem. And in medium screen and larger screen, the leading will be 4 rem. So this is our heading text. I'm going to copy this and then I'm going to paste it here. So this is our text. Here we have missing a W, so with 80%. Now it's look good. After this H1 we have a P tag for the description. So here I'm going to use lorem ipsum generator to generate some random text, and this P tag has a class name of text 17 pixel, margin top of 1 rem, text color will be white, text opacity will be 50. So let's check. So these are description text, then we have an icon, and then two text. We are going to use the flex here. So one flex for this icon and the other part will be this text. So after the p tag we have a div with class name of flex, margin top of 2 rem, then item will be center, and we have some spacing between them, which is spacex 4. So inside this div we have another div. So this div has a class name of width 3 rem, height of 3 rem, background color will be red 500, rounded will be full. Then we have flex item center. We are going to place a icon inside this div. That's why we are using flex to center this icon inside this div. Then we have justify center, and this will be in column direction. Then inside this div we have a phone icon. So I'm going to use a icon from the React icon library. So this icon have a class name of width 1.7 rem, height 1.7 rem, and text color will be white. So let's check. So this is our phone icon, but it's not looking good. So here we have some spelling mistakes, so it will be 3 rem. Now if we check, now it look good. So after this div we have another div for our text. So here we have an h1. The text will be quick order 24/7, and then we have another h1 with the phone number. I'm going to use a dummy phone number here. So the first h1 have a class name of text 25 pixel. Text will be white color. Font will be semi-bold. And for the second h1 we have a class name of text yellow 300. Text will be 30 pixel and font will be bold. So let's check. So this is our text and mobile number. Then we have our reservation form. So for the reservation form I'm going to create a separate component. That's how this project will be more maintainable. So here I'm going to use reservation form.tsx. I'm going to use the boilerplate shortcut, and then I'm going to add this inside this div. So reservation form. Now in the reservation form, the first div have a class name of bg green 700 p6 and rounded lg. And inside this div we have a icon. So we are going to use an icon here. It's coming from the React icon library. So this icon have a class name of with 5 rem, height will be 5 rem, text color will be white, margin top will be 2 rem, and margin will be auto. So let's check. So this is our reservation form, and this is the icon. So after the icon we have a h1 with the text reservation. So this one h1 has a class name of text center. I'm going to use control and space key for the suggestion. So then we have font, and if I click Control and space, it will show the suggestion. So we are going to font bold, then uppercase, text will be 30 pixel. In the medium screen, text will be 40 pixel, and in large screen, text will be 50 pixel, and margin top will be 0.5 ram, and text color will be white. So these are reservation text. Next we have this book your table, and then the input section. So after the h1, we have a p tag, this book your table. This p tag has a class name of uppercase, then text 20 pixel. In medium, text will be 25 pixel, text color will be white, font will be semi bold, and text center. So this is the styling for this p tag. Next we have the input section. So after this p, we have our inputs. So I'm going to create a div here. The div will have a class name of margin top 2 ram, and inside this div we have another div with class name of flex call, and smaller devices the flex will be row, and space y will be 3. In extra small devices and small and large devices, the space y will be 0. Then the item will be center, width will be 80%, mx will auto, justify will be between, and space x will be 4. So inside this div, first we have a select. So we do not need, for the name we have people and id people. So this select have a class name of px10 py 2.5 bg will be transparent, rounded will be lg, outline will be none, font will be bold, then text will be 17 pixel, text color will be white, border will be 2.2 pixel, and border color will be border gray 100. And inside this select we have 4 options. So I'm going to use option into 4 to create 4 options. First value will be 1, then 2, then 3, and then 4. So first we have 1 people, then 2 people, 3 people, and then 4 people. So I'm going to select all of the option and then give them a class name of text black. Now let's check. So this is our select box. Next we have this date input section. So after this select, we have another input of type date. We do not need name and ID. This input have a class name of px10, then py 2.5 bg transparent rounded lg outline none font bold, text will be 17 pixel, text color will be white, border will be 2.2 pixel, border gray 100. So this is our date. You can see this calendar icon is in black text. We are going to fix this a little later. So then after this div, we have another input with type of time. We do not need name and ID. This is a class name of ex10 ey 2.5 bg transparent will be block width of 80% mx of auto. Then we have margin top of 1 rem rounded lg and outline none font bold, text 17 pixel, text color will be white, border will be 2.2 pixel, and the border color will be border gray 100. So these are time input section, and then we have a button. So I'm going to create another div with class name of margin top of 2 rem, width will be 80%, text center and mx auto, and inside this div we have a button of book now. So the button have a class name of px8 uy3 rounded lg margin bottom of 3 rem, text of 16 pixel, with a full bg blue 950 transition all, duration will be 200 milliseconds, and in hover background color will change to red 600 and the text color will be white. So let's check. So these are book now button. So this component, you can see the time icon and the calendar icon is in black, but we want it to be white. So for this I am going to the global.css, and here outside the component you have an input type of date WebKit WebKit calendar dash picker dash indicator. Then we are going to use filter and invert. So it will change the color from black to white. So it's not changed. Try the next line of code. So import type time WebKit dash. Then we have this line calendar picker indicator. Here we have a missing dash. It will be WebKit. And here also the filter will be invert one. Then I'm going to copy this, and after this indicator we're going to use the after and invert one. So now let's check. The color is not changed. So input. So the problem is here we have a typing mistake. So here we have a calendar picture. Now let's check. Now the color changed and it's now white. So let's see if this is responsive. So you can see I'm going to reduce the size, screen size. As you can see, this component adapt perfectly with the screen size. So our reservation section is complete. Next, we are going to build the newsletter section. So here we have a heading for join, and then have a little description, and then an input with a subscribe button. Now we are going to build this newsletter section. So I'm going to create a folder in our component folder, and I'm going to name it newsletter. And inside this newsletter, I'm going to create a file called newsletter.tsx. I'm going to use the shortcut to create the component, and then I'm going to add this in our home component. So here I'm going to use a newsletter. So we have to import this. So I'm going to use Control and space for the suggestion, and then I'm going to import this component. So this is our newsletter. Then for the first div, we have a class name of padding top of 5 rem, padding bottom of 5 rem. Then we have then inside this div we have another div, and this div has a class name of text center, and inside this div we have a h1 for join for hot offers, and this h1 have a class name of text 28 pixel. In small, for extra small device, text will be 28 pixel. But for the smaller device, the text will be 38 pixel. And in medium, text will be 50 pixel. And text color will be black and font will be bold. So if I check, so this is our text, but we have to make it uppercase. So we are going to make it uppercase. Now it's look good. So after the h1, we have a p tag. Here I'm going to use the lorem ipsum generator to generate some random text, and this p tag have a class name of text black, text opacity will be 70, width will be 85%, and in the medium or large screen the width will be 60% and margin will be auto. So this is our description text. And after this we have our, so what we have our input and subscribe button. So after the p tag, I'm going to create a div, and this div have a class name of flex item center, not baseline, item center SpaceX2. Inside this div we are going to place our input and button, and we are going to make this a flex item. So after SpaceX2 we have margin top of 3 rem, justify will be center, and inside this div we have input and then subscribe button. So for the input, I'm going to use the input of type email. We do not need name and ID, and the placeholder will be email address, and for the class name we have px5 py4 bggray 400, and width will be 40%, outline none, rounded LG, and for the placeholder the text color will be black. So let's check. So this is our input for the email address. So now we have the button. So here the button, subscribe, and inside this button we have a class name of px8 py4 bg 700. In the hover the bg green 900, transition all, duration 200, rounded MD, text wide, and font bold. So let's check. So this is our subscribe button. So this is our newsletter section. So now we are going to check its responsiveness. So you can see it's adapted perfectly with our screen size. So our newsletter section is completed. Next, we are going to build the footer section. So this is our beautiful footer section with 4 parts. So we are going to use the grid system here and divide this in 4 parts. Here we have some links, footer links, and also some icons. So let's start building this beautiful footer section. So for this, I'm going to create another component or another folder in our component folder, which is footer. And inside this footer, I'm going to create a footer.tsx component, and I'm going to use the shortcut. And now the question is where we are going to put the footer. So we are not going to put it here. We are going to put the footer in our layout component so that all the pages have this footer attached to it. So here I'm going to use the footer. So this is our footer. Now for the first day, we have a class name of pt5 ram, pb of 3 ram, bg gray 900. So these are background color. Then inside this div, we have another div with class name of width 80%, padding bottom of 2 ram, border bottom will be 2 pixel, and border bottom color will be gray 300, and the border opacity will be 50. Then we have margin auto, and we are going to use the grid. For the small devices, there will be 1 column. For the medium, there will be 2 columns, and in the large, the grid columns will be 4. And we have a gap of 3 ram, and items will be in center. Then inside this div, we have the first part. So first part of the footer section. So here we have a div, and inside this div, if you see, here we have our logo. So I'm going to copy it from the nav section. So in the navigation, in the nav bar, so I'm going to copy this logo. If you want, you can create a separate component for the logo, but I'm not doing it because in real world we have an image for our logo. So from that, we do not need to create any separate component. So here I'm going to paste our footer, not footer, it's the logo, and I'm going to import this icon from the hero icon. So this is our logo, and I'm just going to give the text color of white. So text white. So this is our logo, and after this logo, so make a comment here, logo. So after the logo, we have a p tag, and I'm going to create some random text here using the lorem ipsum generator. The p tag have a class name of text white, text opacity will be 60, and margin top will be 0.4. So this is our text. Can remove some part of the text here to make it short. So this is our text. Then we have this email and phone number. So after the p tag, we have another p tag. Here we have a dummy email address, sample.com, and this p has a class name of margin top of 1 rem, text white, and then we have another p tag with the phone number. So I'm going to create a dummy phone number here, and this p tag have a class name of text red 300, then text 19 pixel, and font will be bold. So these are phone number and email. So here maybe we have an extra email. So this is our first part. Then we have the second part. So after this div, I'm going to create another div, and here we have h1 of products, and this h1 have a class name of text 23 pixel, font semi bold, margin bottom of 2 rem, and text white. And after this h1 we have a p tag with chicken burger, and the p tag has a class name of margin top of 0.7 rem, text color will be white, opacity is 60, in the hover text will be yellow 300, then transition all, duration of 200, cursor pointer, and width will be fit. So we have more of this footer link, so I'm going to copy it 4 times, 2 3 4, and I'm going to change the content here. So for the second one we have beef burger, then crispy burger, classic burger, and delight burger. So let's check. So this is our first link. So here I think we have something missing, which is in the grid it's not item center, we're going to use item start. So now if I save, you can see they have the items start position, and then we have another same type of link. So I'm just going to copy the second part. So I'm going to copy this, and then after this step, its third part, I'm just going to paste it here and change the content. For the first one we have the heading will be quick link, then we have home, then about, then menu, products, and finally news later. So if I check, so this is our third part. Then we have this opening hours as a heading and some text about the opening time and a social icon. So for this, after this div, we have our fourth part. So I'm going to give a comment of fourth part, and here we have a div, and we have this same type of icon. So I'm going to copy this and paste it here, and here I'm going to say it as opening hours, and it is going to be uppercase. So now I'm going to save this. So this is our opening hour. Then inside this div, after the h1, we have a p tag. So here we have Monday to Friday, and then we have a span 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. and I'm going to copy this, and next we have Saturday 8 p.m. 8 a.m. to 12 a.m. So this p have a class name of text white, and text will be 80 pixel, and the pen will have a class name of text yellow 300, and I'm going to copy this styling and paste it here, and also I'm going to copy this and paste it here. So now let's check. So this is our to time. Then we have our social icons. So after this p tag, we have social icons. So I'm going to create another div, and inside this div we have three icons. One is Facebook icon, so for the div we have a class name of flex, margin top of 2 rem, then item center SpaceX will be 6, and for the icon we have a class name of width 1.5 rem, height 1.5 rem, and text blue 400. I'm going to copy this two more times, and second icon is Instagram, and the text color will be text red 400. So here we are going to use the 600 or 400, and then we have Twitter. This text blue 300. So this is our social icons, and finally we have this copyright text. So I'm going to copy this text from here, and then after this div we have our copyright text. So here we have a P. I'm going to paste it here, and this text will be inside a span. And for the P tag, we have a class name of text center, text white, opacity 50, margin top 1.5 rem, and for the span, the class name will be text yellow 300. So let's check. So these are copyright text, and our footer is completed. So let's check the responsiveness. So responsive, and reset this. You see, first we have the 4 part, then if we reduce, now it's 2 part, and then if we reduce this more, so you can see the footers are adapting with the screen size perfectly. So this is our footer. Next, we are going to add some animation in our website for more user attraction. So let me show you the animation. So here you can see a scroll animation. So the feature section are coming to the screen with a beautiful scroll animation. Then we have this rider scroll animation, and then this export section animation. So we are going to build this animation now. So for the animation, we are going to use a npm package which is called AOS, animation on scroll. So I'm going to search this, and I'm going to the GitHub page. So here you can see the animation library. It is very easy to use. You have just to write this data AOS property in your div that you want to animate on scroll. So there are different types of animation: fade down, fade right, flip, zoom, and more animation like zoom out down, zoom out left, and you can use different parameter to control the animation. So now I'm going to install this in our project. So for this, I'm going to use the npm install script, and I'm going to paste it in our terminal. Now it's installed successfully. So we are going to configure this in our home component. So first we have to import these two line. So I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to paste it in our home component. So here if I hover, you can see it needs to download or install the packages. So I'm going to copy this npm script, and I'm going to paste it here for the type installation. And in this file we are going to use effect to initialize our AOS. That's why we are going to convert this into a client component using this use client text. So now it's a client component. So here we are going to initialize our AOS using use effect. So for this use effect, and inside this use effect, I'm going to create a function called init AOS, and it will be a async function. And inside this we are going to import our AOS using await So import AOS. Sorry, it will be inside this function. So now it's okay. Then we have AOS dot init, and inside this we are going to pass some parameter. So first one is duration, which is 100 millisecond, means 1 second. Then we have easing, and here we are going to use the ease. Then we have once true, and then anchor placement will be top center. And then we are going to call this function. So init AOS. So our initialization is complete. Now we are going to apply the animation in our component. So first we are going to apply the animation in our feature section. So in the feature, for the first card, we have a data dash AOS, and here we are going to use fade left, and we are going to use the data dash AOS dash data dash AOS dash anchor dash placement. For this we are going to place the anchor placement in top center. So I'm going to copy this, and for the second card, here we are going to use zoom in, and we are going to use a delay. So here I'm going to use a delay of 200 millisecond. It will be data dash AOS dash delay. I'm going to copy this, and for the third card we have fade right. So fade right, and the delay will be 400 milliseconds. Now let's check. So if I refresh, you can see the animation. So this is our feature section animation. Then we have animation for this rider section. So I'm going to open the delivery section, and here for the image we have data dash AOS is equal to fade right, and data dash AOS dash anchor placement will be top center. So this is the animation for this image, the delivery section image. So you can see the animation work properly. Then we have the animation in our export section. or so I'm going to open the team and team card, not team card, team.tss, and I'm going to wrap this team card inside a div. So div, and then I'm going to apply the animation in the div. Now for the first team card, we have data-aos will be fade right, then data-aos-anchor placement will be top center. I'm going to copy this, and for the next card, here we have a zoom in effect, zoom in, and we have a delay of 300 milliseconds. And for the third card, we have fade right, and the delay will be 600 milliseconds. So let's check. So these are feature section animation, then the rider section, and finally team section. So all the animation works properly. Finally, we are going to deploy our project in Vercel. For this, we first need to create a repository in our GitHub account. So I'm going to open my GitHub account. And here I'm going to create a new repository. And I'm going to name it Burger Landing Website. So I'm going to make it a private repository and then create repository. And in the code, I'm going to stop it now. And here, first I'm going to initialize Git using the Git init. And then I'm going to add all the file using git add dot. Then I'm going to commit. And for the message, first commit. So here we completed this part. Then I'm going to copy this and paste it here. Next, we are going to add our origin, remote origin. And finally, we are going to push our project. So it's complete. Now refresh the page. So this is our Git repository. Next, I'm going to open a Vercel dashboard. And here add new project. And then I'm going to import this. Just now we are push it in our GitHub repository. So I'm going to import this project. The name will be the burger landing website, and then I'm going to click the deploy button. Now this will deploy our project in Vercel. So it's now installing our dependencies. Now it's creating an optimized production build. You can see it's Next.js 14 app. Now it's generating the static pages. Now the deployment is complete. So I'm going to the dashboard, and then this is our link. So I'm going to click this. So now our website is live. So if I scroll, you can see the animation works properly and every section is looking perfect. So let's check the responsiveness. So you can see the responsive navbar, the slider, the feature section, popular burger section, rider section, the export section. Everything looks perfect. Now you can share this link to your client, or you can add this link in your portfolio. So finally, our project is completed. If you have any question related to this project, you can ask me in the comment section. So thank you for joining us.